Good afternoon, fellow Vault Dwellers. Welcome to the Turtlecast. It's here, the raid. Everyone is talking about the raid. People love it, people hate it. All kind of feelings I was able to find in the comment section. The good news is, lots of feeling, always good news for developers that design that, regardless of what they are. There is a lot of talk about it, a lot of stuff going on. It's a good news overall, regardless what those are. I enjoy the raid myself a lot, with one exception that one-shot killer mole miners. Those I hate. I don't like the design. I don't like anything about them. I hate them. I have nightmares with mole miners chasing me in the dark tunnels. So those are not good. Those are not good. Everything else I enjoy a lot. Tomorrow I do plan to run a test how efficient it is to continuously kill the turret itself on tomorrow's live stream. I plan to test it, how efficient it that be, comparing to a good team and running entire raid. What is better? What is better strategy purely for rewards? As for enjoyment, I think the entire raid is better. More things happening rather than just killing the robot turret all over again. But that's just my opening about the raid, and welcome in the chat now, everyone. I'm Peaceful Gamer, welcome. Spiteful Angel, JL, Aluful, NCR Ranger, Solar Powered Hamster, Rascal, Carolo, Adefion Jack, The Vault Bros, Angry Scoutsman, Roy Koshinski, Rasman, Sabzevari, Nautical Stew, Nervy Stories, Mr. Kill Jr., Eric Brandt, RHPS, and Michael Yost. Welcome to the chat. About article from Bethesda, there is nothing really to check. There is one about Atomic Shop and one saying that raids is live, plus patch notes that we already analyzed. Like the patch notes, I have a video of patch notes. It's a lot of changes, but they were known thanks to public test servers. So if you watch my reports from public test server and what to expect, you are ready for those. Hopefully. The one surprising change was reversed of the nerf to two-shot explosives, so Nuka Launcher is again super powerful. So that was a surprising one. But good one. Good one, as launchers without two-shot effect is so bad. So they're back on the menu. I still wish they would add kind of slider or something like that to regulate how blinding explosions in this game are. I'm getting tired if I'm using explosive weapons too much. I see this question in my comments all the time. Why is your weapon, this or this weapon, not explosive? Is explosive bad on it? And I'm saying it is not. Explosive effect is really good for damage and overall use of the weapon. The problem is I cannot play continuously with explosive weapons. So that's why if I want explosive weapons, I'm using launchers. And if I want different weapons, I don't put explosive mod on them. If they're already explosive, I put explosive mod on them. If they're not explosive by default, I keep them not explosive, purely because of that reason. It's not about damage in that case, it's about visuals and my suffering if screen flashing for too long. Polished on conductors on Gatling Plasma, that's a very good question. If you can keep it over repaired for most of the time, polished is better. So I would prefer that. I have conductors on mine because conductors you can farm by crafting and scrapping one of the new weapons that have this mod already on the 4-star, and I was not lucky to drop anything else good. And okay, let me answer all the questions from Discord first, and then we return to the chat over here. So let's go. As there is a bunch of questions, I will see if I can answer them. I cannot guarantee. The patch is relatively new. I may not have every single answer, but let's see. Turtle, with the change of Gatling Plasma, don't you think regular plasma core could be better than ultrasight ones? With the new calibrated capacitor instead of prime receiver plus plasma core recharger? So you can see it as better option. For me, it is not. The reason for that, significantly higher AP cost with calibrated. That's a no for me. I don't want to burn through my coffee supplies even faster than I'm doing that now in the raid. So it's a no for me. Purely because of AP cost. If AP cost would be the same, I would say yes, go for calibrated capacitor. But if you need to burn extra 50% action points, I would say no. Unless your coffee is unlimited. Next. What are the changes for Blooded build coming, as in card stats and main weapon to look out for while play? Thanks again and love your videos. Changes for Blooded builds, they will get updated. I will update the builds because there are indeed all those changes to the perk cards and so on. Nothing fundamental change about Blooded builds, to be clear. The mechanics, how you play them, it's all the same. They not very valuable for the raid, as the risk of death is, in my opinion, too high, but can be played. If your skill level is really high, higher than mine, as I played 2 raids as a Blooded, successfully finished, but I don't think it was worth it. It happened to me that I died, or I was saved way too many times with the legendary perk card. Therefore, I would say, not for me to go raid Blooded. Maybe turret farming, I could try Blooded. I really were prepared, and that's a short one, so I can try that, but I don't see myself like running all the raid as Blooded. Everything else, yes. Lilout. Could you cover the new bundle in the Microsoft Store to preview it so people know that they're buying? I already did that, I think. So you are asking about Enclave Armory bundle, so I did that. Hey Turtle, what's the points needed for your raid build? You need extra 15 special added to your base. And the base is 56. So 56 plus 15, total of 71. Is it possible to sneak past the ultrasite mole miners on stage 2? No. Or do they have some sort of enhancement perception? Yes. I'm having issues dodging their attacks in power armor. This is the first time in years using power armor. So you need to practice your skills with minigun shredder and you'll be fine. Have they changed the hitbox of all dropbacks? I can't stand on my anymore. I think so, as I was trying and I couldn't either. I tried like 3 different ones. I like to use them too for standing on them and I couldn't. I think they removed the collision on all dropbacks. Maybe they will add a new one to Atom Shop soon and they will forget about it and it will have a collision again. We'll see. You think having 4-leaf clover with a 1-star concentrated fire is better than having a 3-star concentrated fire with no 4-leaf clover? Yes, since 4-leaf clover fits into the guaranteed critical hit. Yes, 4-leaf clover is superior. If you need to trade any card to equip 4-leaf clover, it's worth it. If you want to use some card, whatever card, and you will need to remove 4-leaf clover to do that, it's not worth it. 4-leaf clover, if you are a VATS build, must be there. It's 1-star card, and it's the most important currently for VATS builds. So definitely, 4-leaf clover is a must for VATS build after changes. It's not a subject if, why, when, always. Next, hi Turtle. They patch power armor reboot in the raid. I have it equipped, and when I died multiple times in the raid, it never worked. No, they didn't. It works in the raid, although if you, let's say, fell into the lava, even if it triggers, it doesn't matter, as you will be killed rapidly multiple times per second. So it doesn't matter. It cannot save you from lava, as lava will kill you again, even if the perk saves you. I have that many times. So power armor reboot triggered when I fell into the lava, and I died just a second, less than a second later, and then I would die without the perk. So it doesn't save you if you fell into the lava. It will save you though from regular damage. Let's say you fight enemies and you die because of damage. It will save you. And it will save you from 1-hit mole miners, at least at this moment. It does work on them. When it triggers, there is 40% chance with max out power armor reboot. I would love it to be more than 40%, but 40% is still better than nothing, much better than nothing. And that only thing that works. There's no revives in the raid, that's true. You can only come back to life once the encounter is completed. That's true, but it's not answer to his question, because power armor reboot does not revive you. It refills your health bar to full when it touches 0. So it's not actual revive, it's a rapid healing when it touches 0. So let it touch 0, it stops you from dying for 1 second and refills it. That's how power armor reboot works. Hello Angry Turtle, just watched your new YouTube video about Gatling Plasma mods, and I wanna ask, are you sure that a Gatling Plasma with explosive instead of that Vital on the 2nd star and Beam Splitter as nozzle are not doing more damage to raid bosses because it fires 8 bullets explosive at the target? So again, I think I already addressed that talking about explosives today. So I just don't like explosive or non-explosive weapons. It's not for damage, but more for visuals and for how it interacts with server lag, not always registering correctly on laggy servers. So that will be second, not purely about doing less or more damage. It's very likely if you add Demo Expert and Explosive, this combo could do more damage. But number of explosions is negative, not positive. If it fires more, there is no 8, I think. How many? Splitter is not 8. I think it's 4 or 5. But nevertheless, more explosions means more lag, not more damage, because damage from explosion will be split between pellets, like in shotguns. It will not be multiplied for most weapons. I didn't try it with Gauss, with Gatling Plasma, but yeah, I doubt it's gonna work. It's terrible with Peppa Shaker. For the lag purposes, mainly. I don't like it for this reason. And yeah, okay, that's just answer to what I already said. Daniel. Hello. According to Nuka Knights, there is an interesting bug that allows 2 teams of 4 players to be in the raid instance and fight all the stages together. You can see it there. I know about this bug. It is possible to have entire server in the raid. If you want to check Nuka Knights, he already published that video. Not gonna play it here. It is considered exploit, I think, but nevertheless, how it works, raids are quite specific instance. If you disband a team inside the raid, you will not get kicked out. So you can start new team, people can join you, can enter your instance, you can disband the team, start a new team, people can join you, join the instance, rinse and repeat until entire server is inside. I don't know how this will affect the lag. Definitely makes the runs faster, that for sure, and easier when you have like 15 people instead of 4 running around. So that's how it works. I bet it will be addressed relatively soon. In case of other instances, if you disband a team inside, everyone would get kicked. Maybe Bethesda decided to change this mechanic so you don't lose on the rewards if the team leader is a troll, but it backfired by adding this exploit. I'm not planning to use it myself, but it does exist. Okay, 2 things. One, I seem to have an infinite ammo bag for my Gatling Plasma. Not sure what is happening, but I'm at 42 cores, and every time I reload, I stay at 42. It's not a bug. Second, okay, I will explain that before we go to second. Whenever you reload, you are adding almost empty core to your inventory, so you are on the same amount of cores, but charge on those cores is much lower on those that you already reloaded. Check your ammo tab, you will see how many almost empty cores is there. They will be used last, as when you reload, the game will pull the core with the highest charge first. So when you run out of high charge cores, so let's say you reload for 42 times, the next time you load, you will find yourself with like 50 shots per core or less. So that's not a bug. Unfortunately, that's how it works. And yeah, a lot of dead weight is being created this way. Second, in the patch notes, it talked about adjusting some enemies to not use specific armor pieces, and instead it sounds like they are just increasing the hit points. Is this a nerf to anti-armor? No, it doesn't directly affect anti-armor, and they're not really talking about enemies not being able to use armor, but what was going on in current moment. The damage resistance of enemy was affected by what type of armor it has equipped, leather, combat, or different. Now they changed that, so enemy damage resistance is fixed, and armor they're wearing is just a cosmetic. So they split it. It's no longer connected. The armor they're wearing provides cosmetic factor, and they do have a set amount of damage resistance, unlike being determined by the armor they put on. They did quite similar thing with their damage and weapons. They still use weapons, but now they have special NPC weapons assigned to them, not the regular weapons. That's why they don't drop a weapon every time, because they do not drop what they are using. They're dropping from a loot list, separate weapons, different weapons than they are using. So that was changed to make enemies more consistent. I don't see it as a nerf or a buff. It's definitely overall enemies were made stronger, above level 75, but it's not a nerf or buff in itself, as enemies below level 50 were made weaker, and around level 50, above 75, they were made harder. Next, hello Turtle. Since the patch, I've been noticing times where my health will bounce up and down a little, constantly taking me out of and back into nerd rage. Have you noticed or heard this happening? Yes, I have this bug, but it was purely visual. It was not actually bouncing health, but health bar, and that could affect the nerd rage, unfortunately. So it's very weird bug. It's not what it was in the past. It's not actually healing. It just causes the health bar to bounce back and forth a little. I don't know what exactly is causing that. Next, besides the Nuka launcher, are there any other launchers that seem to have had their damage reduction with two-shot reverted? Yes, all of them. All the launchers. Next, hello Turtle. I'm new to Fallout First and only have the default survival tent. Is it possible to purchase better one? Yes, I can't find them in Atomic Shop. Dziękuję panu. So you should be able to find them on the main page, Fallout First catch-up bundles. One of them supposed to come with a tent, unless they forgot to add it. But there was always one catch-up bundle for around 1,000 atoms that were with better tent. In the same time, you can just wait, as from time to time a new tent is being added to Fallout First as a monthly reward. So if you will not find it, you can wait. But there should be some tents in the catch-up bundle. Next, have Sentinels and Cavalries been fixed yet? I didn't test, but I don't think so. They were not fixed on this game version on public test server. Hello Turtle, I'm back from a 2-month break from the game. Now for my question. I see a lot of people farming first boss only. Is it better than doing all 5 stages of the raid? Is it better? I don't know. I will test tomorrow, but it's definitely much easier, especially if you cannot find a good team, as stage 2 is a nightmare. So I think majority of the players is getting stuck on stage 2, which I understand because I was stuck there a lot myself whenever I was not able to find a 3 good teammates. Therefore, if they stuck there, they cannot complete, they get frustrated, and all what it's left is just repeatedly doing stage 1 if you really want the new rewards. And that's understandable. The stage 2 is definitely a wrong way of looking for difficulty, in my opinion. It makes for a quite frustrating experience with one-hit mechanics. Something like that shouldn't exist. Those small miners in those tunnels would be annoying enough if they would just do high damage rather than one-shot killing and being annoying as they already are. Because currently, if no one dies, it still takes lots of time to gather those canisters just because you never know what they exactly are. And that will conclude all the questions from the Discord. We'll be back here next week for more questions. Now I'm back in the chat. Oh, Spiteful Angel! Thank you a lot for gifting 10 memberships for the member hangout that we'll have in a moment after Turtlecast. So welcome to Turtle's Army, Carlo, the name that I cannot read because that's different letters, Travis, Blankenship, October B, Dead, Dan, C, Pizza Rowl, Deadly Wish, and Glitterfart. Welcome, and may the shell be with you. I appreciate the generous donation, Spiteful Angel. Thank you. And now let me see if I missed some questions from the chat. Yes, there is rat damage method for stage 3 for those super enclave soldiers that is working because they're not immune to radiation. If you don't know, whichever enemy is not immune to radiation, you can use auto melee weapon with not with rats. What was that? With the perk that gives rats under charisma to annihilate them in matter of seconds. Doesn't matter how much health they do have, as radiation is percentage based application. So rat points are not the same as hit points. Therefore, it's easy to kill regardless of amount of health enemy has if you can do rat damage. Bethesda is the enclave. I don't know if Bethesda is the enclave. They look more like Voltec. The rates are so much better with more people. I believe that with entire server it must be lots of fun, not lots of difficulty. Yes, I will be updating all my builds, including blooded builds. I will still not recommend going with blooded builds into the raid, but I will be updating them. Yes, reflective stack on armor if you are talking about the 4-star effect. And stack with perks. Yeah, I know. The raid keeps boring and annoying if you keep dying from one-shot mole miners. This mechanic is not needed. For sure. I'm against that. I can accept crazy high damage from enemies, so then I gather gear to counter it. That's okay, because that's RPG mechanic. You give a boss some crazy damage, and there is a way to go into the world, collect a proper gear that will protect you from this crazy damage, like with in case of the turret. The turret is crazy damage, but you can collect a full set of troubleshooter's power armor, and you have a counter for it. And that can be done for many enemies. I would be okay if I would even need to use a different power armor for stage 2. It's fine with me if there would be something to protect me from those mole miners or regular armor, whatever else will be the counter. The point is, there is no counter outside of staggering them with Basher minigun, and I don't even know if this feature is intended by Bethesda to work like that. I hope it is, because that's the only counter for those mole miners. The Peppa Shaker plan will be hard now, even from player vendors, because we are far away from the last cookout. Cookout is always on the summer, it's winter, so it was half a year ago. Most likely, whoever had those plans for sale already sold them, or they will be extremely expensive. They will return when the cookout will be available. I don't know if they fixed anything specifically about consoles and expeditions, but I'm happy to see that your experience on PS5 improved and you are not losing rewards anymore. That's a good news. I think the updates are indeed mostly positive. They never perfect, but that's normal. And never everyone is happy. But updates are good. I can I'm not gonna lie to you. The recent updates in Fallout 76 were all good. With a little bit in between, like step backs, with some bugs reintroduced, to some stability issues, as usually. But overall, we are going in the right direction for sure. No, you cannot stun the mole miner stalkers. No stun works, nothing. No crowd control works on them outside of a temporary stagger. I was testing everything. At some point, when we first time tested on public test server the new weapons from Raid, and I noticed that one of 4-star effects is a stun on reload, and there is a weapon dropping with this effect, I was like, yes, that must be intended counter for those stalker mole miners that one-shot kill you. And of course, what happened? I reload the weapon next to it. It would hit with the wave that's supposed to stun everything. The guy killed me like nothing happened. Not stunned at all. 3-second stun only works on regular enemies, so why would I ever use that? I have no problem with regular enemies. So that's what I don't like. There is no proper counter. The only counter you have for those small miners is stagger from the Gauss minigun, and second option is tagging them, as you at least know in which direction they went. But even tagging is not perfect, as on your little compass on the bottom of the screen doesn't show distance or anything like that, and there is no persistent marker when you look at it. It's only on the compass, so that's the issue. If this marker, this diamond, if that would appear above the head, like during the quest, that would be helpful, and I will count it as a counter, as I could then see them through the walls and avoid getting in their direction, but you cannot. So there is no real counter for those. Very annoying. But with good team, with 4 people, the second stage is a breeze. It takes less than 5 minutes to complete, and you rarely fail. But that only when you have 4 good people, and still, I was playing with very good players on this stage. It's still, from time to time, 1 or 2 would die. So that just tells you it's not a skill issue. If you play with the most skilled people, and it still happens that from time to time they count and die by those annoying stalkers, then you know there is no proper counter. Yeah, the Shredder Stagger makes a biggest difference for the stage too. And I enjoy all other stages, the mechanics and so on. Although not really explained, there is nothing to learn about. I would like next time Bethesda do Raid like that, to implement like a terminal in the waiting room, so you could read about what's in the next room, like the RPG friendly introduction, what to expect and what are the mechanics in there. In here they choose that we discover them ourselves, and I did the guide and other people did the guide, and those are on YouTube, so you can learn through YouTube. But why not in game? Why there is no seamless implementation that we could learn in game, a lore friendly way? There is nothing like that. That's my only grief with the raids, really, overall, that there is no implementation like that. And learning when you are inside and team relies on you, it's not the best strategy. It's a bad experience for both, for the person learning and for other teammates that don't know what's going on and why this new teammate that just joined doesn't want to help. And they don't know, maybe this person is just learning. Any more questions? Let me know. I'm looking at the chat. And Reddit is always crying, so please don't bring Reddit cries. That's normal for Reddit. There was no day that Reddit would have no complaints. There's always more complaints than being happy. I don't know why. I don't know what happened with Reddit. It wasn't like that in the past. And as well, I'm not saying that all complaints are unjust. Some of them really valuable complaints and solid. But a lot is just, oh no, this content I don't like. Remove the content I don't like. That's a lot of complaints on Reddit. And that's not constructive criticism. And just pure crying for crying. Yes, Recon Scope would work too for tagging mole miners. But if you use Recon Scope instead of Recon Mod for the helmet, you cannot swap the weapon. If you swap the weapon, you lose tags. And there is no Recon Scope for the minigun shredder. That's why I use it on a helmet, so I can keep carrying shredder and still tag them. They will not increase stash most likely anymore. Too many items causes server lag. They are afraid of that too much to increase it. That's why they are adding only unlimited stash storage for items that do stack. As it doesn't matter for the server if you are storing one piece of item or 10,000 pieces of the same item if it's just the number next to the item, but it does matter tremendously if you are storing 10,000 different weapons. That will kill the server. Stealth gear doesn't work on those small miners. I did try. What I would rather have in real life. Coffee or tea? Coffee. The best 4-star for power armor, there are several options. There is no one best option. Yes, Cup Collector perk is working. It's OP now. Yeah, you need more coffee. Coffee is important for the raids. That's why I will probably switch to killing the first robot with melee to save. Oh, you can get sentinels, but it's bug that it doesn't work as it's supposed to. Alright, so I think I answered all the questions for today's Turtlecast. So now we'll be heading for members hangout to maybe do 1 or 2 more raids together with members. And then tomorrow I will see you all on the evening live stream and we will test. Is it better to farm the first boss continuously or entire raid? I want to do a comparison. 1 hour of first boss only versus 1 hour of entire raid, hopefully with a solid team for the entire raid part. And we'll see the answer. That's for tomorrow. And this being said, I wish you best of luck with your raid endeavors. Don't give up if you die. I died so many times and I was so frustrated during the public test server testing. But I learned it and now I can do it. Now I can do it and I have fun. So that was worth it. And with this accent, we finish this stream. So see you tomorrow. Bye everyone. Turtle out.